everybody. I want to talk to you today about the respiratory system, chapter 20, section 1. And understand that the respiratory system is simply our breathing system, our lungs, our trachea, and our diaphragm. And there's some certain parts about these things that we've got to know. Okay, breathing is simply the exchange of getting oxygen in and getting carbon dioxide out. Oxygen, the abbreviation is O2, and carbon dioxide's abbreviation is capital C, capital O, subscript 2, CO2, all right? So when I refer to O2 or CO2, that's what I'm talking about, oxygen and carbon dioxide. The diagram behind me is a diagram that you can find in your textbook that kind of talks about and shows you the different parts of the respiratory system and the important things that we need to know. Okay, so when you breathe in, when you inhale, you're taking in oxygen. And what happens is there's a muscle just below your lungs called the diaphragm. That goes down. It's almost like a suction that helps you pull the oxygen into your lungs. Okay, and when you breathe out, you exhale, right? That diaphragm kind of pushes up and helps push the carbon dioxide out. Now, why is it important for oxygen and carbon dioxide to be exchanged? Well, in this process called cellular respiration that happens in our cells, in the mitochondria of our cells, if you remember, that's where we take the oxygen and the food and everything that we need in order to make energy for our body. We've talked about this numerous times. So if you remember, we need oxygen, some glucose, right? A little bit of water and other things. That comes in, our mitochondria does its job, and it makes energy. Remember that three-letter word, ATP, right? So that energy is created. Along with that is some waste product, water and carbon dioxide. Well, our cells don't need the carbon dioxide. Our bodies don't need the carbon dioxide. So it travels all back into our lungs from our circulatory system, and our lungs get rid of it. And then we bring in more oxygen, starts all over again. So we breathe in through our nasal and mouth cavity, okay? This can be found on page 570 of your textbook. So we breathe in, it comes down our trachea, okay? Your trachea is just a passageway. You know, sometimes food goes down the wrong tube, right? Well, that's food going into your trachea, and you don't want that to happen because then you can't breathe. And that's how people can choke sometimes, okay? Remember, there's that little flap called the epiglottis. That epiglottis helps prevent food from going down your trachea. Food wants to go down our esophagus in our digestive system. Our trachea is part of our respiratory system or our breathing system, okay? So it comes down our trachea, and then it branches into two tubes called the bronchi. And then the bronchi, okay, then the bronchi branch into bronchioles and so forth until they get down to the very end to what we call the alveoli. The alveoli are grape-like clusters that are surrounded by capillaries, okay? And, you know, arteries and veins, and they end up at the capillaries. The capillaries are the exchange site where carbon dioxide is dropped off and oxygen's picked up. And that all goes, and then our circulatory system takes it all through our body to the cells that need the oxygen in order for them to perform cellular respiration in our mitochondria. Okay, so these are the important things. Make sure you take a look at page 570. Okay. I had you do, I believe, questions 1 through 4 on page 576. So the main function of the respiratory, question number 1, the main function of the respiratory system is to bring oxygen in, get rid of carbon dioxide. It's the exchange of gases, O2 and CO2. how oxygen, carbon dioxide, and other waste gases are exchanged in the lungs and body tissues. That's the process of our breathing, okay? It's exchanged through diffusion in the capillaries surrounding the alveoli. How does air move into and out of the lungs? Well, that's all part of your diaphragm. You breathe in, your diaphragm goes down, helps suck that air in, your chest expands, it goes out, okay? Your lungs are filled. When you exhale, your lungs decrease and your diaphragm kind of pushes up underneath your lungs to help push that air out. And finally, number 4, how is the work of the digestive and the circulatory systems related to the respiratory system? Well, the digestive system, remember, is to break down food molecule or food particles into usable molecules that can pass through your circulatory system to get to the cells, okay? It's related to the respiratory system because the respiratory system is bringing in that other part of what's needed for cellular respiration, the oxygen. So we have the food molecules coming from our digestive system. We have the oxygen coming from our respiratory system. And our circulatory system is that highway that brings all the needed nutrients and molecules to our cells so the mitochondria and the rest of the cells can do the things that they need to do, right? In this case, the mitochondria are taking on cellular respiration to take oxygen and the food molecules, glucose, turn it into energy so we can breathe and blink and our heart can beat and we can run around and walk and do and think and do all the things that we do on a normal day that we don't normally think about. Our body's doing it for us. And the digestive and respiratory systems are getting the nutrients in. The circulatory system takes them to where they need to go and then takes all of the waste products back out to either our respiratory system that can get rid of the carbon dioxide, our digestive system that can help get rid of some of the solid waste, and our body is good to go. Okay? I hope you're all well, stay well, and I hope that this was helpful. Have a great day.